Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate how the program you're implementing for PS6 will work when it's finished. So this is the window that'll show up when you run the main method. And before you can do anything, you need to load data. So when you load data, it asks you to choose a file. And I have two sample files over here. This is called states.txt. This one here is called nfl.txt. And they both come with the starting point project. The states file has 4 states that appear multiple times. Each time there's a line with the name of the state, a tab, and then a number, a positive number. The NFL has 5 teams names, followed by a tab, followed by a positive number. So when I load the data and pick, say, states.txt, what I get is a summary of the data in the file. So let's see what this is showing. First of all, we've asked for the sum of the numbers. And so what you see here is California, the value of California is the sum of the numbers 12, 10, and 6. So that's 28. So that's why you get 28 right here. Similarly for Nevada, Oregon, and Utah. Now over here on the left we see a pie chart, and so it's showing that the 28 of California compared to everybody else, that's California's total is exactly twice that of Nevada, which is here, and Utah, which is there, and then Oregon is pretty close to the same size as California. So that's a standard kind of pie chart. We can click here, and then you see the same data, except it's displayed as a bar chart. Let's go back to the pie chart. Now we can do other things with the data. We can, rather than asking for the sum of all the numbers over here, we can ask for the average. And so you now see that the average of California's numbers over here is 9.33. For Nevada it's 4.67, and so on. And again, we have a pie chart for the averages. And in the pie chart, Oregon has the biggest average, so it has the biggest slice. And Nevada has the smallest, so it has the smallest slice. Similarly, bar chart. You can switch to max. And so now what we have for California is the max of its 3 numbers over here, so 12. And for Utah, the max of its 2 numbers, which is 9. And we see them compared with a pie chart, a bar chart. Or we can switch to min. Now we get the min of the numbers from the data. So California's min is 6, it's right here, and so on, and we see them compared with a pie chart and a bar chart. Now let's go back to sum. Other thing you can do over on the right here is take states out of the equation. So if I deselect California, now I just have the 3 sums for Nevada, Oregon, and Utah, and the pie chart just compares the 3 states. So Oregon ends up with a bigger slice because California's out of the picture, or a bar chart. And you can see if I deselect Nevada, if I deselect Oregon, now Utah has the whole thing, or if I get rid of Utah, there's nothing left. So I can pick whatever states I want to consider. Now, I've had students in the past that think that this program just works with 4 states. Well, that's not the case. We can load any data as long as the file consists of lines of text where there are names or words, whatever, I guess a word right there, followed by a tab, followed by a double, positive double, then you can work with it as well. So if I go to load data and ask for NFL.txt, now I'm comparing 49ers, Colts, Packers, Patriots, and Steelers the same way. So the program works with whatever data file we give it. Okay, so that's the basic idea. Now let's see if I can make this thing fail. Let's try to load. In fact, let me try loading data. Let me just pick. Well, this isn't going to work out. I'm trying to find a rogue text file to read from. Let me pause this recording for a minute, and then I'll be right back. For example, let's delete that 5 right there and save it. And now if I open up states.txt, I see a message, file contains a line without 2 tokens. Now let's suppose we change it so this 5 no longer parses as a double. We save that, we say load data, states, file contains an invalid double literal, 5x. You can't use 0 or negative numbers as a value, so let's put -5 here. Load data. Category maps to a list containing a non-positive double. And finally, you can't have an empty file. So let's try to load that. File contains a line without 2 tokens. Well, that's kind of an odd error message, but anyway, it's because it wasn't empty. We'll try again. File contains no lines. So your final application ought to display error message similar to those. Now the thing to realize is that I provided most of what you see here, the code for most of this. Your job will be to implement some methods that are used to gather the data and summarize it. And you'll also be writing a method whose job it is to draw the stuff. So you have the method that draws the pie chart, draws the bar graph, puts these, oops, don't know what's going on here. It's not switching back and forth, but anyway, I guess I don't have valid data loaded in at the moment. Anyway, you draw the 2 types of charts. You draw these legends here, these legends here. And that's all summarized. It's all explained in the assignment write-up. When you see the errors appear, so I'll go back and load this empty file again. This text is taken right from the exception that's thrown by the method you'll be implementing. So in other words, when my code calls your code and you throw an exception, and the specification says when to throw an exception, the message that exception carries is extracted and displayed as the message here. So somewhere the code threw an exception that had a message, file contains no lines, it was caught, and this is displayed here. So that's how it'll all look when you finish implementing the 3 methods that I've given you to implement.